Before we officially start, we are going to go through our housekeeping and interpretation setup. So at this time, I'm going to pass it off to Jose, one of our Linguistica interpreters, to provide some instructions for selecting your interpretation channel.
Hello, good evening to all. These are the interpretation instructions. If you are on a computer or a laptop, you will see a world like a little globe icon at the bottom of your screen that says interpretation. Please select your preferred language, English in this case, and then mute the original audio. If you are on a phone, tablet, iPad, or any other device, you will see three dots at the bottom of your screen. Select Interpretation, select your preferred language, English, mute original audio, and finally select Done to finish the setup. If you are joining us in person, which I do not think so, and I'm going to repeat these same instructions in Spanish. Thank you. Para la interpretación en español, si está usted conectada desde una computadora o tableta, verá el icono del mundo o el globo terráqueo en la parte inferior de su pantalla que dice Interpretación. Seleccione su idioma de preferencia, en este caso, español. Luego, dale clic a silenciar el audio original. Si está en un teléfono, tableta, iPad o cualquier otro dispositivo, verá tres puntos en la parte inferior de su pantalla. Seleccione Interpretación. Seleccione su idioma de preferencia, en este caso español, luego dele el clic a silenciar audio original. Posteriormente a esto, ya da por finalizado o el botón Done y habrá completado la configuración de la interpretación en Zoom. Si tienen ustedes alguna pregunta en el chat o solo a la coordinadora y les asistiremos en el proceso. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jose. Give me one moment while I add you to the channel. Okay. So both our interpreters should be in their channel. Let me know if not. And everybody, unless you are bilingual, please select either the Spanish or English channel. We'll give some reminders again throughout the night. We will continue to move through the rest of our housekeeping slides. Let's see. Okay, so here we have a reminder for our naming conventions. For our CSC members, a reminder to put the letters CSC in your Zoom name. And for those who are residents, a part of the stipend program, we ask that you put the letter R. And as we say usually at the top of these meetings, this is always very helpful for us for our stipend tracking and distribution process. For all other attendees in tonight's meeting, if you are here representing an agency, we also ask you to put that in your Zoom name. And if you are joining as a member of the public, please put the letter P in front of your name.
Yeah, here we go.
And for all others, feel free to, yes, add any relevant content about your organization in your name. Here we go. We have a reminder for our virtual meeting etiquette. We ask for everyone to please stay muted unless you are actively speaking. This keeps the audio clearer for everybody on the call. If you are calling in on the phone, you can mute and unmute yourself by pressing *6. We also ask for everybody to raise your Zoom hand if you have a question or a comment, and wait for us to call on you before speaking. And if you are calling in on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. And a final reminder for our residents in the stipend program to please stay on for at least 75% of the meeting, which is about 90 minutes, to be eligible for the stipend. Here we have our group agreements. We ask that everybody helps achieve our meeting goals for productive discussion and respectful dialogue by letting everybody participate. That means if you tend to talk a lot, we ask you to make space for others who may not be so talkative to provide comments and ask questions. We ask everyone to be civil, kind, and respectful, knowing that it's okay to disagree, as long as we do so with respect and empathy. We also ask folks to help us stay on point and on time by keeping your comments brief and to the point. This is a big group. We have a big CSC here. So we do want to take extra care to make sure everybody has a chance to participate. Next, we've all agreed to attack the problem and not the person. And finally, we all agreed to seek common ground. Building consensus and finding shared values will help us achieve the best results. And our last slide here is the agenda. So we will have some brief welcome and introductions before we have our action item tracker review. Then we will have an update from the Air District on wildfire resources and outreach. And then we will hear an update on CERT measure implementation for the Arvin Lamont CSC. Then we will move on to standing updates before we wrap up and end with our final public comment. So I will stop sharing my screen and want to officially welcome everybody again to the 51st Arvin Lamont CSC meeting. We know we took a break last month from the CSCs, so it might be a little while since we've seen you, and just really appreciate everyone who's made the time to join tonight. At this time, I'm happy to make some space for our co-leads to provide some opening remarks. I'm looking through the names to see if we have Bianca and Cesar in attendance. I see Cesar. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, everyone. I hope you had a good month off. The weather is not as hot today as it has been in the past, so it seems like today's a good day to have a meeting, and um, I think even nature's agreeing with us that today's going to be a good day. So hopefully we can get to this agenda and be able to bring up some of the uh, important community level information in terms of what we want to see from the tracker and what programs are going to be coming up as well. So happy to see the future plans.
Thank you, Cesar. This is Liz. Really appreciate the optimistic message that you're sharing tonight and totally agree. I don't think Bianca is here tonight, so I think we can move to some opening remarks from Stephanie from the Air District.
Thank you, Liz. Hi, everyone. This is Stephanie Ng. I'm the Director of Community Strategies and Resources at the Valley Air District. And just echoing Cesar, I hope that everyone has been having a really good summer. I know it's a little cooler than it normally has been, so I hope you all are finding some time to rest and be with family and be outside. We have a great agenda packed with lots of information for you all. And so looking forward to tonight's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. This is Liz. At this time, I am happy to keep us moving through our agenda. And next up, we have the review of our action item tracker. As most of you know, we do take the time to do this review at every CSC meeting. The purpose of this is to make sure the CSC is involved in the accountability and the tracking of the actions that are being made towards your suggestions. And so we will have Nancy share her screen in a moment and walk through the action item tracker. We will have a few minutes for some questions about the action items. And as always, if we aren't able to fully answer your question in this item, we will add that to the tracker and make sure that we come to it at our next meeting. So at this time, I'm happy to pass it to Nancy to walk us through the action items.
This is Nancy. Thank you, Liz. So I went ahead and just shared the action items in the chat. If you would like to go ahead and follow along with that, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, can everybody see that? Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so these are going to be the action items, and this is just going to be a routine check-in from the previous CSC meeting, and we're just going to see the progress on these action items. Of course, if you need any additional information or want to chat outside of the CSC meeting, please go ahead and get in contact with us. I am always available, and we can always just go ahead and schedule something. So let's go ahead and begin. So again, these action items are from the previous CSC meeting, which was in May. And so the first action item is in regards to a CSC member who participated in the passenger vehicle repair program. So there were some concerns regarding labor and parts for the smog repairs. And so the CSC member felt that maybe the cost was not what it was supposed to be. And so ValleyCan actually followed up with this case. And it turned out that there were no discrepancies and followed up to explain the cost to the CSC member. And so if this situation arises for you, you can also reach out to them, to the ValleyCan staff. We went ahead and provided a phone number here. It's 800-806-2004. And if you can't get in contact with us, of course, you can reach out to one of the Air District staff, and we will be more than happy to get in contact for them on your behalf. The next action item, this one's in regards to an agenda topic. And so this agenda topic would be great to bring up during our August 7th agenda CSE. And so this is for in regards to electric vehicle and plug-in hybrid purchases in Arvin versus Lamont. So this is just going to be a compare and contrast topic. And so we are going to be incorporating feedback. We will want to incorporate this feedback as long as you all are still interested in this agenda topic. The next action item is in regards to Air District will provide updates on opportunities for funding programs that offer support for residential charging stations. We did go ahead and send out an email which included some incentives for residential charging stations. And so this email was sent on July 8th. If you have any additional questions about that, please let us know. And we will continue to look for other opportunities, and we'll, of course, share that information with the committee. And lastly, the last action item, this is in regards to Caltrans. And so the action item reads, Caltrans to provide a progress report and update during a future CSC meeting. And of course, Caltrans representatives are working to bring an update on projects within the AB 617 boundary at an upcoming meeting. And so this concludes the action items for this from May. And so I will go ahead and open up the floor for any questions regarding these action items, or so if you have any questions, please go ahead and answer or ask them away.
Thank you, Nancy. This is Liz. I see one hand up from Mario. Go ahead.
Yes, I got a question on the smog check. A lot of people been taking the cars to get smog, but most of the time, they charge them more for the smog check when they fixing them up. Do they give them an estimate or something like that before they agree to put the car in there to smog them, or how do they work that program? Because I've been hearing a lot of complaints about that, and I was just wondering if these people are doing the smog is overcharging or they're fixing up what they're supposed to fix and maybe charge them for extra parts or whatever. I don't know how that they're doing the estimate on that. And I'm just wondering about that part.
This is Stephanie. Thank you, Mario, for that question. I'm happy to jump in, and team, if anyone else has any responses, feel free to also jump in. But yes, that's my understanding. And just as a reminder, that was kind of exactly the scenario that during our May meeting that a CSC member brought up, of just having gone through the program and just wanting to really confirm that the prices that they received were kind of, accurate, aligned with what other like shops would offer. And so Valley Can went through the process and kind of walked through their whole project case. And they actually have kind of requirements that their pricing has to be really similar to what other shops are offering. And so Valley Can was able to confirm in that case that there weren't discrepancies. The pricing was kind of aligned and followed the guidelines that we have for the program. And that's what we kind of followed up with that member. And so that is the case that an applicant that is going through the program should get an estimate, should be kind of understanding the cost of it before moving forward. And kind of with all of our other programs, we do encourage everyone that if they're going through the program, they see a cost that they maybe aren't happy with, that we encourage everyone to shop around. There's other options, and we want folks to feel comfortable with the pricing and the shop that they're working with. And so we just encourage folks that, if there's, get a quote from a couple of shops, see which one kind of the pricing works for them, which, shop that they like working with those employees. Those are all things that are kind of all up to the applicant to decide.
Yeah, well, I got this other question. Do you guys go out there to investigate these cases that maybe they're getting overcharged or something?
This is Stephanie. Mario, thanks. That's exactly what happened last time. If you all have any concerns about any cases, like Valley Can is more than happy to look into the case, to look at the pricing and ensure that everything is kind of by the books, following the guidelines. We routinely kind of check in on the program and make sure that everything is kind of aligned again with our program guidelines. That is something that we do regularly. And that's something that we can do if it's the case that there's any members on this call, any friends or neighbors that that go through the program that have that question. They can just call Valley Can, and Valley Can's more than happy to look at their case and help answer questions.
Two, I got another question about how about the buses from the schools that Sunset after all get those buses and maybe get those charging station and Lamont and Allen County got those buses or not?
This is Stephanie. I do believe the last update that we gave to the CSC about buses was that we had, I believe it's Vineland that applied, and we are still working through those applications. And we'll give an update to the CSC once they've kind of gone through the process. The process does take some time for us to review the application and all of that, and for the school to purchase the buses. And so we can provide an update on that in the coming months just to see how the progress is going.
Okay, and two, I got another question on our almonds orchards about the machinery that so-called that we were supposed to get for the farmer to have lower dust emissions. What happened to that program? I mean, there's money there for that program.
Yes.
Did you guys ever give out machineries to the orchards right there in Arvin? Because the Arvin been having a lot of problems with this dust right there for the high school. And right here in Lamont too, we got problems here with this dust going all over the place. And what is the rules and regulation? Do they water down the ground before they pick up the almonds, or what's going on with that project?
Hi, Mario. This is Amy. That's a great question. We will add it to the next SERP update. That's a whole different project. And we do have on the agenda today an opportunity to hear about other SERP updates. But for today, we don't have that on the agenda. So we'll make sure to include it. And I'd encourage you to come to the agenda setting meeting so that we can add that to the agenda. So to be respectful of everyone's time, we do want to make sure that we give our colleagues who are joining us today from Wildfire Resources and Outreach.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I understand it. It's just very important things that I want to know before, I'm doing my own little thing and trying to get all the information I could get. Okay.
Absolutely. So we'll add that to get an update. So right now,
Yeah, no
we don't
problem.
have that.
No problem.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. All right. So at this time, we'll go ahead and pass it to, well, I'll pass it back to Liz to get us to the next item.
Thank you, everyone. This is Liz. Happy to keep us moving through the agenda. As we heard, we do have a very timely update coming up next about wildfire resources and outreach. So I'm going to pass it to Danny from the Air District, who's going to present and show you all exactly where you can find these resources that are available to you.
Great, thank you, Liz. And I'll be sharing my screen momentarily, guys. Bear with me. Okay. Great. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Danny, we can see, I don't know if it's just me, but we can see ourselves in the sidebar.
Oh.
Okay, it looks like others can.
Sorry about that. Let's see what we can do here. One second. Okay, hopefully this one is this better?
No, I'm sorry. I think if maybe if somebody else can share their screen,
okay.
or I think it's okay if maybe you just minimize it
It's not
or
showing?
drag it. We were seeing the presentation, but it still had our video boxes.
Oh, I'm not sure. Sorry about that. Nancy, can you share possibly on your end?
This is Nancy, of course.
Thanks,
Let me open
Nancy.
up the presentation.
All right, thanks, Nancy. Okay.
It looks good to go.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that, guys. The technical difficulties. Okay, so I'm Danny Gonzalez, and I am with the Outreach and Communications team, and I'll be here talking to you about wildfire resources and outreach, and what we provide for the general community, and particularly to Arvin, Lamont. Next slide. So I want to talk to you guys about some of what you see here first are the different types of burning in the valley that we kind of face with, and what we are doing to provide and minimize the impacts to your community. And so the first kind of thing that you see there is burning of trash, which obviously this is illegal across the valley under the Rule 4103. We see here burning garbage, including yard waste, releases of obviously harmful pollutants into your community, which ultimately impact your health and well-being. And fines can be possibly applied to those violations that we could fine for. The second type of burning that we see here is residential wood burning. This is governed by Rule 4901. This applies particularly to burning solid fuels such as fireplaces, wood stoves, and inserts. Third, these restrictions do apply from November 1st to the end of February, which is our residential wood burning season. And we highly encourage those residents that are registered to check in to see what is those burn statuses for those particular days. Third, we see agricultural open burning. Obviously, back in the beginning of this year, in January 1st, 2025, we are phasing out open burning. And alternatively, the district does promote alternatives like wood chipping and composting. The next type of burning that we see is hazard reduction burning. This is used to prevent wildfire risk, particularly in the foothills and mountain areas. And certain assumptions are removed, but again, it's something that we have to emphasize, particularly in the foothills and mountain areas. And ultimately, this encourages safe disposal for options for vegetation. Next is prescribed burning. These are strategic burns to reduce wildfire risk, restore ecosystems, and manage land. And it just helps maintain safe communities, especially in fire-prone areas. And last but not least, we have wildfires. As we've seen in the past, the valley has been severely impacted by wildfires, and thankfully, knock on wood, we continue to have the great season that we have at the moment. And ultimately, what we recommend here is kind of just staying indoors, using air filters, and using and wearing face masks when necessary. So what are the key takeaways here? Know the rules, which all of you being part of CSC are well informed. We encourage you to continue that messaging to your neighbors and family. Check burns regularly. That information is available to the public 24/7 by 4 o'clock for the next day to determine what that's going to look like, what kind of burning is allowed, if any. And then protect your health, ensuring that with these resources that are available to you, creating a safe, clean air room, using air masks, staying indoors, particularly those that are more vulnerable and health-prone conditions, really minimizing that exposure. And last but not least, just visiting any resources that we provide, which we'll be talking about a little more in detail, that are offered to you through the district and other associations. Next slide. One of those efforts that we also encourage and foster is through our Healthy Air Living Schools partnership. This is essentially a voluntary program that a lot of schools throughout the valley participate in by providing them with up-to-date information in regards to air quality. So what exactly is that air quality for that particular day? This allows the schools to make informed decisions of what kind of activity they should be allowed to do, allow students to partake in for that particular day based on the information that they're receiving. This essentially is a real-time air quality data that's provided to them in regards to Arvin, Lamont, that oftentimes are impacted or is impacted through wildfire smoke, high traffic days, and winter inversion periods. The schools between these two communities are making knowledgeable, informed decisions based on the information that we're providing to them. Next slide. So preparing for wildfire season. Currently, we are in the wildfire season, and like I said before, thankfully we're not facing high wildfire rates. Hopefully that continues throughout the remainder of the season. But when it does happen, obviously with other conditions, rising temperatures, dry vegetation, and just weather conditions permitting, we do often see wildfires do occur. And so when that happens, smoke can impact these communities severely and overall impact your health, especially those that are with health-prone issues. So why we do this and how we inform the public is through one of the mediums is through our press releases. And why we do this is to ensure that the general public is well informed and educated on what is happening, why is it happening, and ultimately, what can you do as a resident to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your general community. This is through press releases that we offer on the day of. Once we obtain information, we disseminate this to the public, both in English and Spanish, knowing that there is a heavily bilingual population in here, which we'll talk about a little more detail as to what other languages we offer our materials in. And this is ongoing. And this is something that we will continue to foster and continue to evolve as we serve you guys. Next slide. With those press releases, often we get requests to do media interviews. These are both in English and Spanish, and a numerous amount of TV stations, radio stations, podcasts. And so we want to make sure that information is reaching especially those vulnerable populations, but also those remote populations that may not have access to a mobile device, internet, or simply just television. And so we are often working tirelessly to make sure that we are reaching all types of mediums to keep the public informed and educated. Next slide. With that, we also continue to do our social media, which continues to evolve with an ever-growing platform. Especially with so much information out there, we want to make sure that the information that we are getting to you is accurate, honest and transparent. And so when we are receiving information, we are often filtering such information that it's getting to you in the appropriate language. Typically, on social media, we will do English and Spanish, especially if you see it in your Facebook settings or your Facebook pages, you'll see based on your settings, that'll be automatically translated for you in Spanish. With that, we also make sure that we are directing you to those available resources to our page. So oftentimes, that information that we do post on social media, it will have an associated link directing you to, say, a wildfire page, or how to create a clean room, or if it's grant-based or grant-based related, what resources are available to you to obtain that device to help you improve your air quality in your home. So we want to make sure that we continue to do that for you guys. Next slide. Additional resources that we also offer and highly encourage throughout our press releases, our social media platforms, and just general speaking to the public is through AirNet, or our own tools within our organization through the Valley Air District, which is our real-time advisory network. Which provides up-to-date information on what the air quality is. This information kind of mirrors what we offer our Healthy Air Living schools, those that participate in that program, by giving you, based on your address in your neighborhood, up-to-date information on what the air quality is. In that way, you can determine what kind of activity, if any, you want to partake in based on that information from a level 1 to 5. Level 1 being healthy, all good, activities are encouraged to all. And as you go up to the levels up to 5, those activities change and can vary depending on what health conditions you may be facing. Next slide. With that, we also do encourage additional resources beyond what we already offer the community, knowing that more information to you guys, more appropriate and informed information to you guys that is delivered to you, that information can be further translated into an appropriate response based on the area that you're in. So it is important to take into consideration that every community is different, and every community does face different exposures, elements to the environment. And so those decisions that are made in Lamont may look very differently in Arvin. And so we want to make sure that what information we are providing to you is accurate and transparent. So with that, we do encourage the use of AirNow and additional air monitoring resources like Purple Air. And so with that, it really allows you to kind of see a complete overview of what we are providing to you as to, is this being supported? Is this real? And again, how can we move forward to make that decision for us? So there's a ton of resources that we, again, provide to you. Next slide. In regards to the level of languages that we provide, we are cognizant that the community is designed, or better said, is made up of various different populations. Not everyone speaks one language. Oftentimes, certain communities are made up of different populations that speak a varying degree of languages. And so because of that information, we are developing our tools, our information, our educational brochures based on that information. So with that said, such infographics, such as the one you see on your screen of impacts of wildfire smoke, is provided to the public in English, Spanish, Hmong, and Punjabi. And so we are working, again, like I said, effortlessly to make sure that that information is reaching those remote populations, so no population feels left out. And additional languages can be provided on any of those materials upon request. And so again, we want to make sure that we are supporting the public to be informed. And ultimately, that is our goal, to be informed, to become educated, and to be protected against wildfire impacts or any other type of air quality information. Next slide. And so again, we are aware that air quality changes on the daily. The information can become outdated overnight. And over the months and years, we are working on developing new material to you guys. And so with that, we want to raise awareness of during high-risk periods, making sure that the public knows how exactly to react and respond to certain situations. And we are aware that oftentimes information can be overbearing. It could be a ton of information to process. especially if you're not constantly aware of what to do. And so with that, we've created a very simplified version on how to respond properly to impacts of wildfire smoke. And so with this infographic that you see here on your screen, which is also translated in 4 different languages, English, Spanish, Hmong, and Punjabi, we kind of capture simple steps onto how to reduce your exposure. What does that look like for myself, for my home, and for outside, if I do have to be outside? And so in addition as to what kind of room or clean air room can I create within my home? And so with that information, we are gearing to making sure that the public is gaining access to these tools to very simplify that response from within the community. And ultimately just create equitable access to information, making sure that the public has access to this through the multi-languages of information that we provide too. Next slide. One of the big things that I was excited to share with you all is the Clean Air Centers program. Essentially, what this program offers is a designated public space with filtered air, is particularly when air quality is heavily impacted by wildfire smoke. Oftentimes, these are seen as community buildings such as libraries, senior centers, or even schools that have been equipped with high efficiency air filtration systems that provide safe indoor air. So let's just say that there is a wildfire near Arvin and Lamont that's impacting your air quality. The nearest Clean Air Center program, if you do not have an appropriate designated space within your home or live-in space to designate as a clean air room, that opportunity or offer is still available to you guys. And the nearest one is in Bakersfield. Although may seem far, and in case of an emergency or severe impacts, we highly encourage you guys to take these resources into account. This is completely free. It's an accessible safe haven, particularly to high wildfires and high PM 2.5 days. And so we want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. This is open to everybody, completely free. And in a moment, we will go over as to how you can, what this looks like online through our webpage and how you can access one. And like I said, the nearest one to Arvin and Lamont is in Bakersfield. And why we want to encourage this is because many homes do lack air filtration. So many residents may live in older homes or rental units without proper central air or filtration. And essentially what a Clean Air Center program or Clean Air Center provides is a crucial alternative for those that can create a clean air room at home. And the goal here is to protect everybody and anybody, but particularly those that are most vulnerable, our children, our senior citizens, farm workers, and people with asthma, heart, or lung conditions can simply reduce the health risk by accessing one of these centers. Next slide. And so essentially with the wildfire page, which this is available to you all, I can encourage you guys to visit our page. Essentially what this looks like, and let me see if I can share my screen now, Nancy, so I can go walk you through what the wildfire page looks like. Okay. Did that work?
Yes.
Perfect. So if you visit valleyair.org/wildfires, this is going to be the homepage that you will come to. Essentially, what this page will demonstrate to you is all the up-to-date and most essential information that on the surface that you guys can access. From this web homepage, you will see current active fires that are currently impacting San Joaquin Valley. I want to emphasize that these fires that are listed here are often revisited daily before the end of the day and morning to make sure that based on the information that our AQA team, our air quality response team, is gathering, that then a determination can be made if such fire needs to be removed. Additionally, you can see here resources, infographics, like the one we saw earlier. They also are available in multi-languages, downloadable through a PDF version. Additionally, you can also gain access to how do you want to create an air purifier for home if you don't have an air purifier device already, or kind of a DIY, kind of creating one out of basic tools that you may find around your home. And so additionally, if you scroll up on your left side, you will see here on how to protect yourself, from wildfire smoke. What does that look like? Creating a safe space within your home, protecting yourself from smoke. And again, this is ongoing resources that we are revisiting, making sure that they're up to date, updated, and kind of capture at the moment what we are facing and what you may be facing in your community. Now, moving forward to the clean air sensors here. And on this page, on this tab, this is how you would access kind of the network on where to find a clean air sensor in your home. So if you were to, or near your home, if you were to click here, where it says found here, it will then take you to a different page, which at that point you can research based on your location what clean air sensor is near you. So let's just say that you were looking one for Bakersfield, since that would be the closest one. From there, it will tell you that it's the Bakersfield Senior Center, and the number that you can contact and the location. And so from here, I can give you up to the minute directions step by step on how to reach this location itself. Great. And so again, I encourage all of you to visit this page. This is a page that is available to all from our district page, with a plethora of resources, information, and up-to-date on how to protect yourself, educate yourself in regards to wildfire prevention. So highly valuable resource that is available to you all. Like I said, any of these materials are available to download. Please encourage visiting these often, sharing them with your neighbors and your family and your friends. It is a wealth of information on how to face wildfire impacts. And like I said, currently and thankfully, we're not in a season that we are heavily impacted, but that can change in an instant with conditions, wildfires, and you name it. So I really want to emphasize the importance of being prepared on how to address a wildfire impact within your community and how to protect yourself. And with that, I think that concludes the presentation. So if there's any questions at this moment, I'll be highly glad to answer those.
This is Liz. Thank you so much, Danny. That was a lot of information, all very important information. I'm sure folks are taking it in and thinking of some questions that they have. So we really do encourage you all to take advantage of this time with some air quality experts and make sure that all questions you have get answered. I do see we have a hand up already from Mario. Go ahead.
Danny, great job. You did a real great job. I like it. The
Thank
only
you, Mario.
question I got, dude, if you could give out this information on Facebook, and like that, they could get to know how to go in the telephone to get this information, even better. And
Yeah,
if you
no,
could,
for sure.
if you could do that, perfect. If you could give them
Yeah,
all
no,
the
thank you.
information what you gave right now, perfect.
Thank you, Mario. Yeah, no, again, our goal here is to make sure we understand and value the importance of outreach and education. Really, that's only the way to empower yourself, particularly most vulnerable populations. And with our goal of always attending an outreach event, let it be big or small, let it be one person or 100 people. Our goal is to educate them. And
Yeah.
so the importance of that is it only goes as far as you want it to go. And so even though, again, I know this may be repeated to you guys multiple times and you guys probably know this information already, you probably have a neighbor, a family, a friend, a colleague that does not know this information. And so not only with our efforts, obviously, we're always trying on creative ways or seeking opportunities to engage with the community. But also, I want to encourage you guys and challenge you guys to reach out and speak to your neighbors and speak to your family and friends, and continue this messaging. And if you guys have any idea of upcoming events in your community, please let us know. Although we are working on a few exciting updates in regards to future events for Arvin and Lamont, that doesn't mean or limit us to those particular events. So if you see something, know something of an event happening, please let us know.
Yeah, that's is key. Education is key, and we have to teach our community, what's really going on, how to get this type of information. Our community will grow understanding how to protect ourselves, and not only that, try not to create, for the health issues. Perfect. I love it. And I got one more question on one program. Is for senior citizen, when saying that, they are the ones that have more problem to understand how this program works or anything else, there's any way for a program for them to pick them up to go to these locations, or you guys don't have a program like that? You know, because some
Yeah.
don't drive because they're too old.
Right.
I just wonder,
I
do you
will
have
defer
any?
to Steph. From the stuff on top of my head, I don't believe we provide the actual transportation ourselves, but we definitely can provide the information of where the center is located.
Facebook is good. Where, however you guys put it on the phone, perfect. You know, and I think that's key. And you know, I give prop where it's prop. You know, and you did a really great job.
Thank
I
you,
loved
Mario.
it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario. This is Liz. Stephanie, I see you've unmuted. Did you have an answer for Mario's question?
This is Stephanie. Thanks, Liz. I'd like to look into it a little bit more, but I know that in a lot of cities, there are services like dial-a-rides that you can kind of call and they can come pick you up and take you to certain spots. So Mario, we can follow up on that question and get back to you.
Thank you. This is Liz. I see a thumbs up from Mario, so we will add that to our action items and really appreciate the feedback that you shared, Mario, and do agree that that was a really helpful presentation. And thank you so much, Danny, for joining tonight and providing this group with all of that important information. Don't want to cut this conversation short, so I want to see if there are any other questions or comments from the group before we transition to our next item. And maybe while you're thinking, I'll just note that we had a question in the chat about where to find these resources, if they could share a link. And it looks like the link was shared in the chat. And it sounds like the Air District will share this on Facebook too, and you'll get an email with this as well. So if you are still struggling to find these resources, do let us know. I'll just give one more moment in case any questions come up. If not, then I think we can transition. And again, thank you, Danny, for joining tonight and giving this presentation. So at this time, we can transition to our next agenda item. As you heard earlier, this will be a CERT measure implementation update. So this is an informational item. You will be hearing updates on the status of several CERT measures that have made some progress recently. No decisions will be made tonight, but of course there will be time for questions and comments from the group. And so at this time, I'm passing it to Stephanie to walk us through that presentation.
Thank you, Liz. This is Stephanie again. And like Liz mentioned, I am going to share some recent updates on CERP implementation. I also am going to share some great outreach updates too that some of you that were at the outreach subcommittee that we had, I believe, last month would have heard, but I know not everyone can go to the subcommittee meetings and they're really great updates. So we'll just remind folks about some of those updates as well in this presentation. To kick us off, I do want to kind of summarize a few of the more recent things that have happened with more of our residential incentive measures. One of those being the passenger vehicle replacement program. I know we've talked about this program a lot. Again, this is the program to replace an older polluting vehicle with a new or used either plug-in hybrid or electric vehicle. Back in May, we did have a conversation with the CSC to let you all know that the program has been super popular. And we were seeing kind of the funds for that program getting pretty low. And so in that May meeting, we did hear lots of support for reallocating $1 million from the heavy duty truck measure to the passenger vehicle replacement measure. And so that's something that we have already our district team internally has already kind of made steps in progress to make that reallocation happen so that we can access these funds. And like I mentioned in that May meeting, what that allows us to do is kind of seamlessly transition to or continue the program so there's not a delay in applicants accessing these funds and making the replacements. And so Valley Can is continuing those weeknight workshops. I know you all get the information from us, but just as a reminder, Valley Can typically does two different events in the community. The next events will happen August 4th at Bear Mountain Pizza in Arvin, and on August 18th at Lamina Restaurant in Lamont. Also another update about, I know a very popular program is residential program is our lawn and garden program. I just want to remind folks, because we do get the question kind of across a lot of meetings is is the program still open and when's the next event? So I do just want to remind folks that the program does still have funding and folks can take advantage of these funds and of in the program outside of the events. The process is a little bit different. But the program's open. We have the steps online. So we definitely encourage folks that if they're interested, I know right now folks might be thinking about it a little bit more. It's a little hot, but might be thinking about switching out their equipment. So the program's open. It has funding. And we are actively in partnership with Valley Can planning for an additional event. We're looking towards before spring of next year, but we actually just today had a very recent update that Valley Can is proposing to do their next event on Saturday, November 8th, at Arvin High School. And so let us know if there's any kind of conflicts that you all already know of in the community that are happening on that date. Please let us know. But otherwise, we will kind of move forward with planning that event. And as we get closer, we have flyers, the portal is ready to be opened. You all will be the first to know, and we'll share lots of information with you all so that if you haven't taken advantage of the program, can do so and share with your friends, your neighbors, and your family. The next update that I have for you, as I know it's on a lot of folks' mind, is the vegetative barriers measure that we have in your SERP. As a reminder, we did back in March, we had Hyphy, who is the applicant for the vegetative barriers request for proposal. They did come to the meeting to review the proposal, and you all had a lot of great feedback. And so following that meeting, the district has actively been working with Hyphy to update that proposal based on your feedback. And I know this has been an update that I've given before, but I just wanted to make sure that we're transparent and you all know that this is something we haven't forgotten about, that we're still actively working on. Hyphy was just letting us know, I think just last week, that they are finalizing kind of the updates to the proposal. And once they are available, we certainly will schedule a vegetative barrier subcommittee with this group to review that updated proposal. It's not on this slide, but something else I did just want to let you all know as well is I know that the CSC pretty early on had prioritized wanting to work on vegetative barriers and urban greening separately, just because they are different measures, they do require different things, and just not to confuse the two measures. And I think now that we've made some good progress on vegetative barriers, our team is getting ready and prepared to kind of start next steps with the urban greening proposal. And so that's something that we'll be able to share with the CSC pretty soon here as well. I have a few reminders, like I mentioned, from our outreach subcommittee, one of which I hope that this image that you see kind of on the right-hand side is something that is familiar to you all, because our outreach and communications team actually worked super hard to put together a mailer campaign. And so through this campaign, over 7,000 of these postcards were mailed out to residents within the Arvin Lamont AB 617 boundary. And it's really the purpose is to help educate the public on the process to report air quality concerns. And after that campaign, we definitely did see an increase in public participation and increase in those air quality complaints. We still have, I think, some of this messaging here. So if there's anyone that you all know, we also have similar messaging. We have fridge magnets that I think a lot of folks on the CSC, almost everyone should have. If you have any neighbors or friends that could benefit from having this information really readily accessible, like right on their fridge, right in front of them every day, please feel free to reach out to our team and we're happy to mail them out to whoever might want them. Another update from our outreach subcommittee is for the past several years, our district staff have been on school campuses really throughout the whole valley, but that does certainly include our schools in the Arvin-Lamont boundary. And so we definitely, like Danny said, I'll just echo, we love being in the community. We love being at events. So if you all have any community events that are happening, feel free to let us know and we love to attend. And finally, another update that we have for you all. This is super early in the planning, but I did just want to let you all know that we have been working really closely. I know you all know that we work very closely with the city of Arvin just in general. We have Christine here who works with us super closely, but we also have been working with the mayor as well. And we've recently been in conversation with the mayor to coordinate with the city of Arvin to host an outreach event for residents within the Arvin-Lamont boundary to learn about kind of all of the available district grant programs that we have. It could be, our vehicle repair program, our vehicle replace program, information about our residential lawn and garden program, and even information, gearing up for that event that I just mentioned that we want to have in November. We'd also love to bring kind of other air quality resources, really all the things that Danny just mentioned in his presentation, and also partnering agencies that have a lot to share with residents. And so this is something, like I mentioned, it's it's something that's still early in the planning stages, but we'd like to do something in the fall, and we'll continue to keep the CSC updated on the progress and let you all know as we're planning. And these are all the updates that I have for folks. I'm happy to take any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you, Stephanie. This is Liz again. Again, that was a lot of information about several different CERT measures. We do have time for any questions or comments that you all have about any of those CERT measures that were mentioned tonight. And I do see a hand from Mario. Go ahead.
Yes, what I want to say about that one with the order, I feel that one should be a little bit more, what's that word? More to show the people what type of order, the order of what, is it an order from a car, smoking, or, waste, sewer waste, or maybe smelling water from your sink, or drinking water. If they could explain a little bit more about what type of order. Because I was seeing that one you had on Facebook, but the thing is that we have to be a little bit more to explain to the people, what type of order that we're looking for. Yeah, if you could do that, it'd be real nice. I know we're looking for orders, but what type?
This is
we have
Heather.
to explain a little bit.
Hi, Mario.
Hey,
Thank you so much for that feedback. We tried to strike a balance. We definitely have a lot more knowledge in our group and understanding and into those details, but generally speaking, we want them all. We want to be able to interact with those folks. If it is an odd smell of any kind, I'm afraid to limit or even narrow greatly what we put in there, just because we might exclude something. So thank you for that feedback. We will be a little bit more sort of explanatory when we post about it and try and give a few examples. But in general, we definitely sort of want the public to be aware that those odd things, be it any of the things you said, smoke, waste, whatever is creating it,
yeah,
we'll still take the information. We'd love to have the information.
Yeah,
But I do appreciate your feedback.
yeah, because I had a couple of people complaining about smelling their drinking water, And I went down their house and I go, no, that's your sink,
Yeah.
and that's what I said, because that's what I smelled. And I go, no, it's your sink is all the food that, you throw out. But yeah, I got a drinking water and I took it outside and I smelled it, but I can't say it smells because the cup could smell or
Right.
something,
Right.
And
But in general, we're hoping that those even just put into the community's head, hey, I actually can do something about this. Sort of the basic, if there's something weird and off, there is someone I can consult. There is a path to maybe find answers.
Yeah, that's the point. Because this summer, it don't smell as bad, but at the nighttime, it smells like 2 o'clock in the morning. Because sometimes, I study my book at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I smell stuff, but it's kind of hard to make a complaint at nighttime.
But we encourage you to do so anyway. We'll take it any time of the day. That even the timestamp and the reference to when it occurred, that's all useful to us, and we do appreciate it.
Well, that's the information that we had to put on that picture that you showed.
Yes.
And
maybe next time we aim for like dust and smoke.
Yeah, well,
and
dust,
just
we
hit
have
all
a
the
lot.
points.
We have a lot of problem with dust because I've seen a lot of places they, move those almonds and stuff. They don't even have signage saying, "Hey, we move dirt." But I don't even see them wetting the ground, because the ground too, when they're moving the machine and shaking the trees, get a lot of dust. I don't see that neither, that they wet the ground. But see, I don't even know the rules and regulations on that part.
Right.
And I can't go over there and tell, hey man, you have to wet the ground, because not my job. But it's better for them to learn, what could we do it to, that they will have that much dirt. And especially the machinery that we are supposed to see to lower down the dirt, I haven't seen one yet, especially here in Lamont. And I don't know if people already got them. I don't even know that. That'd be nice to know. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mario. This is Liz, and I think you asked a really important question, and we got a good answer from Heather that if anybody is smelling or seeing anything that is off, it is best to make a report about it using the resources provided at any time of day or night. So definitely encourage you all to actively report anything that you might think is off. So thank you. And Stephanie, go ahead.
Thanks, Liz. And I also just maybe wanted to add on to Heather's response. And Mario, I agree with you that sometimes I think folks maybe just don't know what they can file a complaint on. And I think exactly to your point, I did just want to share, I don't know if, maybe not everyone's looked super closely at the text. And so something that we did include in the postcard are some examples of really common things that that we do see violations on, to give folks an idea of okay, if you're seeing this in the community, this is something you can file a complaint about. So I'll just read them off really quickly as just a few examples. Is strong smells, like Heather and Mario were just mentioning, open burning, idling semi-trucks, people using fireplaces on days that are no burn days. So those are just a few common examples, just to give people an idea of it. But again, like Mario was saying, you don't have to, we're not expecting everyone to be an air quality expert and know all of the rules and regulations. So like Heather is saying, if you see something that you think is out of place or unusual in the community that's concerning you, we want to know about it.
Thank you, Stephanie, for adding that. And I see another hand up from Francisco and Cecilia. Go ahead.
Sí, buenas tardes. Yo tengo una pregunta sobre las cortadoras de césped. Quiero saber si sí va a ser el 4 de
And for the
de
lawnmowers, I wonder on the 4th of August, are they going to be actively working?
Porque parece que oí que van a dar las máquinas el 4 de agosto. No
Because
sé.
it seems that on the 4th of August, the machinery is going to be active and working. I'm not really sure, though.
This is
We
Amy.
can, well,
Can you, I'm not sure if folks could hear. I
we
heard,
could,
so I think this is Amy again. Francisco's question is about the residential lawn and garden. But I think the confusion is that there's an event that's happening for the passenger vehicle replacement program on August 4th.
Del-
Francisco, that's the event that's happening on the 4th, is the passenger vehicle replacement. So residential lawn and garden is still open, and I didn't write down the date, Stephanie, for that future event.
Yeah, thanks, Amy, for clarifying. Francisco, we have in August, on August 4th and August 18th, we are doing replacement, we call them vehicle replacement workshops, where Valley Can goes out to local restaurants and they go to restaurants and they help sit at tables and help people apply for the passenger vehicle replace program. What we have coming up though on November 8th is another lawn and garden event. So it'll be November 8th is when we're looking at. We have some time, and Valley Can has not fully planned it yet. So if you all have, if you know of something that's already happening on November 8th in the community, let us know about it, and we'll work with Valley Can. But tentatively right now, November 8th is when the other lawnmower program will happen, lawnmower event, where people can sign up and they can bring their old lawnmower and then they'll replace it and get to go home with the electric mower.
Oh, ok, pues muchísimas gracias.
Okay, thank you.
this is Liz. Thank you for the question, and thank you everyone for helping clarify all those different events that are coming up. And I see Heather put another clarifying comment in the chat that I'll read. The August events, as a reminder, are for vehicle replacement workshops to help residents apply to replace their high polluting vehicles. And as we heard from Stephanie, in November, a few months away, it's not official, but there will be most likely another lawn and garden exchange. So a lot of fun stuff happening in the community. Are there any other questions about any of the Valley Can work or the lawn and garden exchange or any of the other CERT measures we heard about tonight? Okay. Not seeing anything in the chat and no hands are raised, so I think we can, oh, we got one hand from Gabriela and Jose. Go ahead. There you are.
No se escucha.
Are you there, Gabriela? Do you have a question or comment?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es José Ojeda.
Sí.
Good afternoon. My name is Jose
Un
Ojeda.
comentario acerca de los reemplazos de automóviles. Yo personalmente le doy gracias al programa porque acabamos de
I would
agarrar
like to
nuestro
thank the program because I would like to change my
agarrar
car.
un Lexus completamente
We would like to get
eléctrico.
an electric EV Lexus.
Hay un problema todavía ahorita con los cargadores porque hay
But
unos
right now,
cargadores
there's a bit of an issue with the
no hay
chargers.
muchas localidades donde cargarlos
There's not many charging stations
en
available
nuestra área.
in our area, of course.
Hay dispositivos que están, pero están descompuestos. O
There are
son
some charging
demasiado
units,
lentos.
but they're
Necesitas conectarlos
very
toda la
old
noche ahí.
or very slow,
Entonces,
or they're just
viajamos
deteriorated.
un poquito,
And we
por
have to.
ejemplo, la semana pasada fuimos a Los Ángeles.
Last week we went to
Y
Los
no
Angeles,
alcanzamos a llegar y nos quedamos en los outlets, aquí en el Tejón.
and
Tuvimos
we
que
didn't get
darle.
there. We had to stop in the outlets in El Tejon.
Lamentablemente, ahí en donde está el Tejón Outlet, hay muchos cargadores,
Unfortunately,
pero
there's a lot of chargers
hay
in the
como
Tejon
unos
outlet,
70 Tesla y como 4 nada más
there
que
was
son
like 70 for Tesla,
para automóviles
And the rest
que no son Teslas.
that do
Y
not
hay
belong to
algunos que
Tesla.
son muy lentos.
And some are just slow.
Todos son lentos y nada más dos que dicen que son rápidos, pero estaban tan descompuestos.
And there's
Entonces, hay
they're
uno
slow,
que
but
le
there's
dan
two
caso
fast chargers,
y
but they're just
seguimos en lo que nos
deteriorated.
fuera a traer hasta el otro día que abrieron los sables para medio cargar el carro y
And
traerlo
till the
para
next
acá.
day that they opened the
O
outlets,
sea,
we had to wait
está muy bien el
so that way we
programa y
could
está
half
muy bien
charge
los
it and bring it
vehículos y la
home.
ayuda que dan.
It's
Pero mira,
nice, the
yo creo que hay
program
que
and
ponderar un
the help that
poquito
they give,
y ver bien antes de viajar, no les vaya a pasar
but
lo que nos pasó a nosotros
but I
en
would like
unas
people to
localidades
plan their
donde están
trips
los que
so
les
whatever
llaman
happened to us doesn't happen to them.
cargadores rápidos.
We need
Aquí
more
en Arvin
fast
está
charging
uno.
stations.
Aquí en la ciudad de Arvin están,
Here
hay
in
hay
Arvin,
dos estaciones
there's two
y
charging
uno de
stations,
ellos en una localidad hay
and
dos
one of
que
them
se llaman supercharge.
are
Y
superchargers.
esos, si está 0%, se lo carga en una hora.
If they're 0%, in 1 hour you get a full charge.
45 centavos el kilowatt.
And it's at 45 cents a kilowatt.
Y en los otros que son súper lentos,
And the ones that are
cobran
ultra
a
slow,
29 centavos.
they charge you 29 cents.
Entonces, el programa, ahora sí que nuevamente no le doy gracias al programa
And I'm grateful for the
así que
program. I am.
nos ayudó o está
It
ayudando
has helped us,
a
and it
nuestros
is helping
automóviles,
us to re-emplace
pero sí hay
the
que,
vehicles.
si van uno a salir, hay que considerar
Now,
y mirar bien dónde pueden uno
if someone is going to plan a trip,
cargar los carros para
they
que
have
no
to
les
look
vaya a
very
pasar lo mismo
well,
que me pasó a
see
mí.
where they could
Esa
charge
es
the
mi
car.
experiencia.
So,
Gracias.
same thing didn't happen that happened to us. That was my experience.
This is Liz. Thank you, Jose, for sharing your experience about what you've been going through after you've gotten the new electric car and some of the struggles with the charging stations. I know we've heard some of this before, I think from Joanna as well, who I see your hand is up. Before we get to your comments, I see Stephanie, you unmuted. I'm not sure if you wanted to respond at this time.
Thanks, Liz. This is Stephanie, and I want to appreciate you for bringing that comment up. And I know we've heard it in the meetings before because it's a super important conversation. When we talk about making the transition to an electric vehicle, that can't happen without the right charging infrastructure. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what we are doing on our side at the district. And I actually do know Christine dropped a comment in. And Christine, I actually, after my comment, I'd love to pass to you to share because I know the city of Arvin does have charging stations. But I just wanted to let folks know and remind folks that we at the district do have a program. It's called our Charge Up program. And it is a program that provides funding to allow for public agencies, businesses to install chargers in their buildings, at their facilities, for the publics, and that, depending on who that business applying, it could be for the workers that work there. It could be for, the public to gain access to so that they can charge. So we do have this program available, and we have been doing outreach to different businesses and agencies on this program. But as you all have areas in the community that you think would really benefit from the chargers, you can certainly feel free to share that information with myself or Nancy, and we're happy to reach out to those individuals and let them know about the program. I did actually, though, Christine, I know that you just popped something in the chat, but I just wanted to see, Christine, if you wanted to say a little bit about kind of the city and the chargers that you all have.
Sure. So we have very fast chargers at the Arvin Park and Ride. There's a DC fast charger that has 2 ports, so it will charge 2 cars at the same time, and it will fully charge a car in 35 minutes. We also have level 2s. Those are all brand new pieces of equipment, and the level 2 will only give you about 25 miles per hour per charge, but the DC fast chargers will get you a full charge in 35 minutes. And currently they're set at, I think the fast charger is 45 and the other one is 29 cents. But that is because PG&E rates for charging are so high, and we're just trying to recoup the cost of the electricity only. Down the road, it is our desire once we have the microgrid in place that will supply additional energy to the facility, that we will be able to drop those rates. Because we do understand that, it's more expensive, but it's not, certainly not more than Tesla charges. I think their rates are at 54 cents or 58 cents per kilowatt. In addition to that, we have 10 level 2 chargers behind the Veterans Hall and the Adobe Complex. So if you're going there for a meeting, right next to Shorty's Market, there's 10 chargers right there available for public while you're in meetings. Maybe you're going there to take a ESL course. So there are a lot of options in Arvin, and we did that ahead of this program to try to make sure we had infrastructure in place. So that is available. If anybody has any issues with the chargers in Arvin, you can feel free to reach out at me as well. Oftentimes, people who are new to the EV voucher program have been coming in, and I've been showing them how to use the chargers. And I'm here in the transit building, so I'm happy to help anybody who needs help. But those fast chargers out there will fully charge your car in 35 minutes. So that's a good deal. And I do realize the frustration. The other thing I wanted to mention is that a lot of these vehicles come with adapters, or you can purchase online additional adapters, which I have done. I have gotten adapters that will transfer from a Tesla charger into a non-Tesla vehicle and vice versa. And I keep those in my car. And when you have those adapters, it will open you up to a lot more public charging stations. So you won't have to go to just a Tesla charger or just a non-Tesla charger. And so it's interesting and important to learn about those adapters, because that will open up a whole new avenue of charging stations to you. And I would encourage people to look at that as well. And I'm available anytime in the transit building right next to the park and ride. If you have any issues, you have any questions, I'm happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. This is Liz. We always really appreciate your presence in these meetings and the resources that you're able to provide. Thank you for making yourself available for anybody's questions. We have a couple other hands up, so we can go to Jesus Alonso next.
Thank you. And thank you, Christine. I think that was, very valuable information. It sounds to me like the level 3 chargers are the one more closely related to what folks are looking for, something to, quickly charge their vehicles for medium to long distance driving. What comes to mind, as a board member of the Lamont Public Utilities District is if there was a way to better understand how we can get those level 3 charging stations and be and learn how to manage it properly. I know one of the concerns that the LPUD has is being responsible with the with the funds we have, and being, how would we justify being able to purchase those and maintain those, since we work in water and not electricity. I'm still very interested in hopefully having those at the LPUD for the public to use, but we've been trying to figure out how we can justify that, or how we can manage that.
Oh, there is one more thing I just wanted to interject you all here. If you have a washer and dryer in your house, that's a 240-volt outlet. Most of the chargers that you can buy for your car in your house will operate on that 240 outlet. You still need and you can literally plug it in and you will get a much faster charge overnight. There is a little work. Sometimes you need to talk to an electrician, but most people don't realize that their dryer outlet, I believe it is 240 volt. That will get you about 40 miles, 30 amp, 40 miles of charge per hour. And you could plug it in overnight and get that level of charge for your car. So just wanted to mention that as a like temporary solution. I know, because if you just plug it into a regular 110 volt, you're only getting about 7 miles an hour. It takes forever and you have to charge all night, just using a regular 110 volt. So that's some information that hopefully will be helpful as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. And thank you, Jesus, also for the questions and comments. And it sounds like maybe would it be helpful if we had maybe Stephanie? I don't know if you might be a good person to follow up with Jesus and make sure his questions about the charging infrastructure for Lamont are answered. Jesus, how does that sound?
Yes, I think that sounds great. And that way, we can present. It'd be great if we could present something to the board. When board members would be able to also ask questions and be able to hopefully make a decision on it.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. We will add that to our action item trackers. Thank you. And I see one more hand up from Mario. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like your idea with Jesus. It's a very good idea. Yes, we do need a charging station, but I'm still with saying that would it benefit the community? Really help them out. Maybe to benefit that charging station. Because they have built one. If the bus got they need a station, they could build one right there, and they got a lot of solar panels, and that's very helpful to put a charging station right there close to Andy Candy, and they got a parking lot right there that they could use, and it'll benefit the school and the community, and we don't have to spend that much money because they had to build a station right there anyways. And if you guys agree on to try to figure out a way, I would like to be involved on something like that because it's very important for our community to have this type of station. And two, I was gonna say, the car dealer should at least explain to the customer, there's different options, different plugs they could use. Like that, they won't have that type of problem getting stranded because they could use the adapter. How it's, Christina was saying, if they could give them an option to buy a adapter for their car, like that, they won't get stranded and stuff, and they could use the other chargers. And I feel the people who sell these cars should at least explain a little bit about how these things work, like that people won't, have problems. And yeah, that's a good idea, was Jesus, and I just hope they include me with it. That's all I want to say.
Thank you, Mario. This is Liz. Sounds like somewhere down the line, there will be some more opportunities to jump back into this topic. Jesus, do keep us updated on your work with the board, given the relevance to this conversation. And it sounds like Mario is interested in being involved in that process too. Yeah, love the enthusiasm. Whew. A little sunny here. I think we can wrap up and transition to our next agenda item, which is standing updates. So I'm going to pass it to Amy.
Thank you, Liz. This is Amy. Good evening, everyone. As you know, we reserve time at the end of our meetings for agencies to provide you all with updates related to events that are happening within the Boundary. Tonight, we have several updates. We're going to first start with the Valley Air District's updates, and then we'll transition to some updates from CARB. And I see CARB has already posted some resources in the chat for folks to see. So with that said, I'm going to pass it to the Air District to get us started.
This is Stephanie. I know we already talked a lot today in this meeting, so I don't think I'll go beyond what I've shared, but just a reminder that we have a lot of events happening that we have been sharing information about, and we'll follow up via email, like a standing updates email about some of those dates upcoming for our replacement workshops and our upcoming lawnmower event. And then also let us know if there's any events happening in the community. We'd love to see you all.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate the enthusiasm. At this time, I'm going to invite CARB and Michelle from CARB to provide us with some updates. And thank you, Michelle, for posting in the chat.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I just have a couple of updates to add. I'm sorry, it's always tricky trying to figure out when to put it in there and not have the translators to be overworked and wrong timing, you know. But just wanted to share these couple of things. The first one is information about, is actually about charging stations for big trucks. I know that you all have some community members that work in the trucking industry, and so this is kind of geared towards them to understand what charging stations are available right now. And so you can click on that link and find out a little bit more. Unfortunately, I didn't see a Spanish version for all of that, so that's kind of too bad, but that's the best I could find. And then the second thing I have posted is that tomorrow at 4 o'clock, our board is having their meeting, and they will be hearing our annual update about the program. So this is something we do every year where we take kind of give a progress update to the board about the community air protection program in general. So all of our communities, we have 19 communities. So there'll be a presentation just kind of in general about the program and how it's doing. And it's always open for comments. You can submit written comments if you don't want to go, or if you wanted to attend, you could attend virtually and give a comment and be heard by the board directly. So just want to encourage you all to do that. And I think that's about all I have, unless there's any questions anybody has for me. I wish I was an electric vehicle expert to give you a lot more information. I do have a plug-in hybrid myself, and I absolutely love it. I love that I get 60 miles to the gallon average. It's pretty great. We do have a charger. We got like a refurbished charger that we installed at our home many, many years ago to decrease the cost of doing that. I was just trying to see if I could find anything else for you. And if I do, I will drop it in the chat.
That sounds great. Thank you, Michelle. This is Amy. And if you find it later, we can have the Air District send it out when they send out the mass email.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going to transition to Department of Pesticide Regulation. I see a few folks from DPR on the call tonight. Wondering if folks have anything to share. I see Yvonne, I see Jimmy. I will interpret the silence as no updates from DPR at this time. I saw, oh, Mario, put your hand down. Did your question get answered? Was it related to CARB? Go for it.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to ask is this on Zoom or is it in person?
It's both.
Both?
Yeah.
If you could send me the address, maybe I'll go to this meeting.
Yeah, of course. I'll put it in there in the chat. It's just so you want it verbally. It's 1001 I Street in Sacramento. So it's a bit of a drive for you.
Oh, in Sacramento? No problem. I'll go on the truck. I mean, on the bus or train. It don't matter.
On the electric vehicle, Mario, por favor.
Huh?
on the electric vehicle.
I wish I could. I wish I could afford one.
Just trying to be funny. So
Yeah.
Michelle's gonna post the address on the chat, and it is in Sacramento, and definitely anyone from the public is welcome to attend in person or via Zoom.
Yeah, I'm not doing nothing anyways.
All right. Well, we'll
They
expect
do
to report back.
sometimes have their meetings in Riverside, which might, I don't know, might be a little easier for you, but this time it is in Sacramento.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, send me the address. Maybe I'll fly over there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mario. All right. Are there any other agency updates at this time? I see several folks that are here from different agencies. I'd like to make space to ensure that if you do have an update for an event that's happening within the boundary, that you can provide that update right now. Just looking for hands raised, and I'm not seeing any. Okay, well, with that said, we can begin to transition to wrapping up our meeting for tonight. So thank you all for presenting tonight on all of the critical updates that are happening and providing a lot of comprehensive information for CSC members in the community to be aware of all of the content that was shared. For you CSC members, we hope that you continue to spread all this knowledge within your community and help community members who are not present here tonight to continue to learn about all of the resources and programs that they can qualify for and participate in. I see Cesar has his hand raised. Cesar, would you like to add something?
Yeah, the agency is not here, but CalGEM, which is the regulatory agency for oil and gas in California, is doing some well abandonment in the Fuller Acres area and also in Arvin. So I just wanted to let folks know that there are some oil wells that the state had identified that needed to be fully plugged so that they weren't a threat to public health. So if y'all see any rigs or work being done in the fields near Arvin High School or in Fuller Acres, it's because there are some oil wells that are being plugged. And if you have any questions, I think I can definitely reach out to folks here at the Central District for CalGEM, and maybe they can forward me some information that I can share with the district. But I just wanted to let folks know in case they see any, activity near Fuller Acres or Arvin High School that it's the state plugging some wells so that they're no longer a threat to the public health and don't leak or, don't cause any other public health issues.
Amy, thank you, Cesar, for providing that update. Any other updates from other folks? Okay, well, as we mentioned at the top of the hour, we do spend some time tracking action items that are provided during the meeting. Sometimes we run out of time and don't get to read them out loud and you see them get emailed. Since we do have a little bit of time right now, I am going to invite my colleague Liz to share her screen and provide us with the few action items that we noted today. We do record these live, so if there's any changes or modifications or additional action items that you'd like to request, now is your time to let us know. Liz?
Thank you, Amy. This is Liz. So as usual, feel free to raise your hand or even unmute if there are any action items that weren't written up correctly, or if you have any that we missed and you would like to add. So the first action item, the Air District will provide the CSC with an update on incentive measures related to low dust nut harvesting equipment. Next, the Air District will update the CSC on whether there are available resources to transport residents to clean air centers. And the last action item, the Air District will follow up with CSC members who are interested in learning more about how to apply for the Charge Up Vehicle Charger Incentive Program. And that was the last action item. So just want to pause and see if there are any edits to these items or anything that you would like us to add.
This is Heather. I just want to make sure it's clear, and I'm probably sure it is, but in capturing number 3, residents themselves can't apply. Charge Up is for, agencies and businesses and things. So I just wanted to make that distinction.
Thank you, Heather. Just made that clarification in there, just in case. Anything else coming up for folks? Okay. If not, I will pass it back to you, Amy.
Thank you, Liz. This is Amy. Great. So our next meeting is scheduled for to be the agenda setting meeting. And so this agenda setting meeting will take place on August 7th from 4 to 5. So that meeting time is a little bit earlier. Sometimes we get good attendance, sometimes there's not a lot of folks. I do encourage everyone who's interested in ensuring that the topics that you want to get discussed get included into the agenda to attend these meetings. It's really important that you let us know what we're doing well, or where we can improve, and what agenda items should be included. Then our next actual CSC meeting will be August 27th at 5 o'clock on the same platform on Zoom. And you all know how to log on and access the meeting as you normally do. So with that said, I'd like to invite, oh, I see Christine has raised her hand. Go ahead, Christine.
So I was thinking maybe we need to put together a program for funding home chargers. It's not that big of an expense. I mean, probably $1,500 to hire an electrician, and then the cost of a home charger. And almost every manufacturer offers a home charger that works off of a 240-volt system. But really, I think that's the message I'm hearing from residents, is that they would like to have the ability to find funding for home chargers. So that's my thought. And I know it takes a lot of work to make that happen, but that's what I'm hearing. And I think, the cost of that would probably be under $7,500, maybe even under $5,000 based on my knowledge of chargers. But it would have to be installed by an electrician, right? We don't want anybody hurting themselves. But I'm thinking that maybe the Air District, either through AB 617 or through a potential new program, that a home charging offering would be a really great idea, and I think would be appreciated by the residents in our communities. That's my thought.
Thank you, Christine, for throwing that solution in there in ideation. So we'll add that as an action item for you all to discuss offline and figure out how to make it part of a conversation that can be brought up at a future meeting. And I see Stephanie has raised her hand. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Thanks, Amy, and thanks, Christine, for bringing that up, because I love the opportunity to share that actually our team, following I think a few conversations that we've had in other meetings, did do some research and pulled together a few grant programs that are already available for in-home chargers. There are some programs through PG&E and SoCal Edison. And so I think we will plan, just because there were a lot of updates in the email we sent it in, we'll plan to share those resources again as a follow-up to tonight's meeting. That way folks can take a look. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us at the district. And we'd be more than happy to follow up and connect you all to those agencies.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie. Mario, I see you have your hand raised. Do you have a question at this time?
Christine, that's a real good, I like that idea, but the only problem is that we have to make sure whoever bought these cars, all these electrical cars by these programs, for them, they could maybe we could put some money for them to get a charger in their house. I mean, it sounds good, but if we make a program for everybody, then we'll never fix up really the problem for Lamont and Arvin and whoever buys these cars. Do you understand where I'm at? Okay, I mean, great idea, but it'd be nice, whoever is on the list on who have cars, who bought cars, they are the ones that benefit for this program. I feel that, I think that'd be a great thing to do. But it's like I say, if we don't do it for everybody, we don't have enough money to, have chargers for everybody. And everybody that want this program who owns a electrical car. But I'm up to, people who bought cars to have these stations in their houses. That's a great, thing to do. But the otherwise, no. That's why I was shaking my head. I said no. Okay. We have to think. We have to think about it. How it works, because everybody wants a charger in their house.
This is Amy. Thank you, Mario. So we'll continue to discuss this. So for now, it's an idea that will be discussed and resources will be provided. With that said, I do see that Cesar is still here. Cesar, want to invite you to add any closing remarks before we wrap up today's meeting.
Oh, I see Gabriela and Jose have their hand up.
Yeah, Gabriela, go ahead. Oh, and I do see Bianca has joined as well. Gabriela?
Sí, buenas tardes. Mire, todo lo que están diciendo ahorita Cristín y el señor
Hello, good
Mario,
afternoon. Everything that Mr. Mario is saying, that's true. When we bought this electric, we informed ourselves how it was working, what to do, and the agencies, they gave us 40 minutes. They gave us 40 minutes. They told us where the chargers were. And what my husband was trying to do is that where the charging stations are, they're there, but they're not working. They're not up and running. The charging agent, the agency didn't see this. They just wanted, they never spoke about the cost of installing it at home. All the process that we underwent, they explained everything perfectly, how it worked, and we made the decision, and we wanted to see how they worked. That's all.
Thank you so much, Gabriela. So when the email goes out from the Air District, I encourage you both to look at those resources that are going to be provided that already have some programs that are already in place outside of AB 617 incentives, but other programs that you might qualify for, and continue to reach out to the Air District if you have more questions. Thank you for adding that. Let me just scan my screen, see if there's any other questions. I'm not seeing any. So Cesar and Bianca, would you like to add any closing remarks?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for everyone for being here and also for participating. I think, there's a lot of amazing ideas and people that are very familiar with their communities. So every community is different, and the more you share the needs and what you see in your community on a day-to-day basis, the more this plan is going to fit the community. So I just really appreciate everyone sharing their specific concerns to their community and their lived experience, so that we can better understand Arvin Lamont and make sure that they get what they need and not something that may be applicable to every community, but something that could best benefit this communities in Arvin and Lamont.
This is Amy. Thank you, Cesar. Bianca, anything to add?
Yes, echo a lot what Cesar was mentioning. Residents are the teachers for this program, and whatever is needed, it's hearing the voices of all the residents that live and actually take advantage of these programs. I'm very excited to hear that residents are taking advantage of the programs, but also seeing where it could improve for later on. So I do appreciate everybody's giving their comments and suggestions. Also, Christine giving the opportunity of all the charging stations, because at the end of the day, we do need that information for community members to take advantage when there's outages or there's places for infrastructure for charging for the vehicles. And it's important to have that connection between not just only the city, the county, but the residents to know what's out there and take advantage. I think it's very important that we should take this AB 617, and it's good outcome. I firmly believe that each resident, each individual that are using these SERP incentives and using it as a good deed in this world is important. So I do want to echo what Cesar was mentioning, that the residents are our teachers. We just have to learn from them and see how we could help support making this possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bianca. This is Amy. Stephanie, anything else to add from the Air District side?
Thanks, Amy. This is Stephanie. I just also wanted to echo my appreciation for everyone for engaging with the topics that we had tonight. And then also a huge thank you, as always, to Cesar and Bianca for helping support putting together the agenda, giving us thoughtful questions to think about as we're prepping for the meeting. And really just echo what Cesar and Bianca were saying of, you all are such leaders in your community. And I just want to make sure that you all know that every piece of feedback that you give us just helps make our outreach better. It helps make our grant programs better. And really the lessons that we learn here in Arvin Lamont don't just, not only improve the air quality here, but they help actually help us learn and better engage with kind of disadvantaged communities really across the whole valley. And so I just wanted to thank everyone for being a part of that process.
Thank you, Stephanie. This is Amy. Estela, would you like to add something? I see you unmuted, Estela, but I can't hear you.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Soy Estela.
Hello, good
Yo
afternoon to all.
solamente
My name is
quiero darles
Stella,
las gracias,
and I just would like to
Bianca.
thank you, especially to Bianca.
Tuve un problema con la cortadora
I had a problem with my lawnmower, the electrical one. The battery died, so now I need my contact. She gave me the addresses of the store in Bakersfield. I called the store.
pasaron de una persona a otra
They
persona a otra persona.
passed me from one person to the other person to the next.
En
But
conclusión,
and at the
que
end,
llevara la pila, la llevé,
they told me, bring the battery. I brought it there,
nuevo, entonces,
and they got me a new
creo
one.
yo que nada más es tomarnos el
And
tiempo a veces
sometimes we just have to take our
para
time
hacer las llamadas, para darle
to make the
seguimiento
calls,
a las cosas.
to make
Y pues me dieron una
following
pila nueva para que la
to get that
cortadora
new
de
battery
zapatos
in,
siguiera sirviendo.
so that
Entonces yo
lawnmower
pienso
keeps
que
running.
solamente es eso,
And it's only
darle
that what I have to
seguimiento a
say
las cosas.
is
Quería dar otro
give a
comentario
follow-up
también
on the
acerca de los carros
situations.
eléctricos.
And
Yo sé
something about
que
the
todas las
electric
personas
cars.
que están
I
regalando
know
sus carros
now
eléctricos
they're changing their
es
cars for the electric
es algo
cars.
nuevo
It's
para
something
ellos,
new
un carro eléctrico.
for them, for
Están en esa
all of us.
transición de un carro de
They're in
gasolina
that
a un carro
transition from
eléctrico.
gasoline to an
Y
electric
yo pienso
vehicle.
que les va a tomar un poquito de
And I think it's
tiempo
going to be a bit of a
saber
time,
bien
a bit of
dónde están
a
localizar
transition
dónde están las
to know where the
para cargar
charging
sus carros,
stations are
pero también para mí
and
se me
how to
hace muy
charge
buena
them.
idea lo que dijo
But
Christine
one
con
thing
esta
that
llamada,
said
que
Christine,
se pudiera
if we could
encontrar
have
una manera de que
a
no es para
way,
todo el mundo, es para los
but
que están en el
it's not for
programa
all,
de
but
Arvin
those who are
Electric
in the
que han
program,
regalado
but
los
in
carros
Arvin
eléctricos,
and Lamont, that we
de que si
take
se
the electric cars.
encuentran fondos para que se les
And
puedan
if we could
poner en las
find
casas
funds and
el
grants for
sistema
them to
para
put it
cargar
in their
sus
home,
carros, yo pienso que
I honestly
sería
think
algo completamente
that would be something would be
genial para esas personas, ya
completely
que el programa
fantastic
es para bajar la
because the program
contaminación
is to bring down the
y si ellos
contamination
están
of the environment.
100% a gusto
And
con
if
su
they're
carro y sobre todo
100%
si
happy
hay
with their
manera de
car
que se les ayude, porque se
and
supone
there's a way to
que
help
todas
them,
las personas que han agarrado
because
esos
we're
carros son de
supposing
bajos
that
ingresos, han
the
calificado,
person
tienen
that
carros
low incomes
que
are
pues ya
qualifying
contaminaban
for this
mucho.
because our cars
Entonces,
were contaminating too
pienso que
much, the
sería
old
una gran
ones.
ayuda
I
también
think it would be a
que se
great help
sacaran fondos para que
so
se
that way we
pusieran
could
en sus
find
casas
funds so
una
they could have
manera
the
de arreglar
chargers
en
in
sus
their home
casas, ya que es un costo
much more
muy alto.
comfortable.
Estamos
And
hablando casi de, ya con toda la
it
cosa,
is
8,000
pretty,
$9,000
it's
para que
maybe
pongan
$8,000 or
eso.
$9,000
Y
for to
claro
install
que
that
si
in your home.
hay alguna
That would be
forma y se
great.
encuentra,
If there is a
¿por qué no
way that
hacerlo?
we
No
could
es para
find
todo
it,
el mundo,
why
es
couldn't we
para el
do it?
programa de las
It's
personas
not
en las
for
que lo
everyone,
necesitan.
it's for the people that are in the program.
Entonces, yo pienso que es
So
muy
for that
buena
reason,
idea
I think
y
it's a great
ese es el
idea.
comentario que yo tenía.
And
Muchas
that is
gracias.
what I would like to contribute with my comment. Thank you.
Amy, gracias, Estela. Elvia?
Yo nomás tenía una pregunta. ¿Ya no hay aplicaciones para las escuelas?
I just have a question. Is that there's an application for these bicycles that they sent us?
Good question. This is
Mm.
Amy. I'm not sure if the Air District has that update.
This is Stephanie. I think if I heard correctly, this was about the e-bike program, correct? Currently, right now, and Michelle, feel
Sí.
free to jump in. As of right now, I don't believe CARB has any, right now there's not an open application period, but from what I do understand about the program, and Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe that they plan to open another application period in the future sometime. And I think we can follow up on that with CARB.
Yeah, you're probably more in the know than I am. When I looked at it the other day, I didn't see anything about a future date. So I'm not 100% sure on that. But if I hear anything, I will definitely update you all.
This is Heather. I wanted to provide just a tad bit more feedback, not to offer any confusion, but I have an electric vehicle. I have gone through the work to purchase a charger. I got it through Costco, and to install it in my house. It does take an electrician, and it does take space in your electrical box, but it's not $8,000 or $9,000. It is much closer to maybe $500 to $800 for the actual unit you put on the wall. And then you would shop around for quotes for electricians, because you just need a trusted professional, and it's not, thousands of dollars. It's like anything else we do. You get quotes and find a reasonable price and someone you feel like you can trust, and you have them install it. My house had enough space in my box, so where I put 2 little units in the box out on the side of the house, and was able to run the line for the electric charger in addition to my dryer. I don't recommend cutting off your dryer to charge your car. Obviously, you would need to dedicate one or the other. But I fully believe that it is much more around $1,500 or so to get that done in your home privately versus the number that was floating around tonight. Just having done it personally, it's been a few years. I know prices change, but I just wanted to offer that to you. I went through it, and everything you've said tonight is so true. I have found myself stranded. I had to sit at a Walmart because the charger I went to was broken. And I only had a few more miles. And then I found a new location, and I spent the 40 minutes and I got charged up. It is 100% an evolution of process and time and experience. And I just want to encourage you. I agree with everything you're saying. We need to make all those things happen, but they can, and they're not insurmountable. That's all I wanted to say. Okay. Have a good night.
Go for it, Stephanie.
Thank you so much, Heather, for sharing your personal experience. I just wanted also to follow up on the e-bike program. Like Michelle did confirm there's no date right now, but on this website that I'm going to put into the chat, you can sign up to be on an email list. That way, if another round of funding does open, you would get notified of that.
Stephanie, this is Catherine. Our team, we've have also been looking into the e-bike component option for the CC4A, and we're hopefully we'll be able to provide some more information.
Thank you, Catherine. And I see Bianca has her hand raised. Go ahead, Bianca.
I'm offering the service that if people need to register for the e-bike notification, let me know and I'll help support. I know that some of the community members have wanting to take advantage of this and would like to see it come to our community. So if any of you would like to, you're able to reach me or send me just your email and I'll register your, I'll know that it's for the e-bikes. So whatever you guys need, let me know. I'm here to support.
Thank you so much for that extra support, Bianca, for CSC members. So as you heard, this is Amy. If you would like support getting registered on that list, please email Bianca and she can provide some support. Also see that Christine put in the chat that if you need an electrical upgrade, it would be more. A lot of the homes don't have that extra 240-volt outlet, especially in Arvin and Lamont. Every time the city has to add a charger, they've had to do some upgrade transformers for those homes. So recognizing that that might be a little bit different for the Arvin Lamont community. So more important to, talk to each other, talk to the resources and get connected just like you all are doing tonight. I see, Mario, you have your hand up. We're about to wrap up. Any questions that we can answer?
No, it's because I was going to tell Bianca to sign me in for one of those e-bikes.
All right, you're the first one to sign up on it.
Yeah, give me a three-wheeler because my leg is bad right now.
Thank you, Mario. So Bianca will send you an email if you forget. Thank you so much. And this is Amy again. Just want to express my gratitude and recognize what a privilege it is for my colleague Liz and I to be here tonight and to continue to watch the evolution of the implementation of AB 617 in your community. The commitment that you guys demonstrate on a daily basis to continue to advocate for the resources and the things that you need in your community is very admirable. And it really is a pleasure to be in this space with you. With that said, as you already know, these are public meetings and therefore they are open to anyone from the public. So we do reserve the last couple of minutes for any public comments. So I'm just going to pause for a public comment and then we can wrap up. Right, not seeing anyone from the public ready to share right this second. We're still the biggest CSC in the state. Look at you guys. That is 100% correct. Continue committed and you're watching the action happen right in front of your faces and things are changing. Really excited to watch all of this growth. With that said, hope you guys are enjoying your summer and staying somewhat cool today, and we will see you soon. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Buenas noches.
Good night, everybody.
A mí soy Lorena, ¿puedo para hacerte una pregunta?
Sí, claro. ¿Quién habla? ¿Estela?
Sí, buenas tardes.
Oh, Lorena.
Sí, Lorena.
Hi, I'm Lorena. I would like to make a question. Did you send the payment for the month of May?
Mes de mayo, ¿sí? ¿No lo recibió?
No.
I haven't received it.
Okay, yo le hablo después mañana, ¿está bien?
Sí, está bien.
Okay.
Gracias.
¿Recibe cheque o recibe por el depósito del banco?
¿Depósito de banco?
Oh, más raro. Okay, yo le hablo mañana.
Ándale, pues, gracias.
Gracias a usted.
Gracias, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Gracias, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.